Nice work.
So it's Droner Dan and Droner Karl. This is Droner Karl.
Droner Karl. Yep, I'm out here. I'm enjoying the river views, just walking along the beach. I thought it would be a great day to do some filming. As you can see, there's blue sky. It's really nice out, low wind. Have it on a mode where it'll actually follow me.
Don't be like Droner Karl. He's not looking at his drone.
Yep. I normally just fly right through the pillars. I was following the drone through my
Yeah, it looks like
screen.
he misjudged the forward
I thought I had passed.
access.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a review?
Here we
Shows
are.
the same thing.
Flew sideways right into the pillar.
Bam.
It was done. I couldn't believe it. In my view screen, I looked like I had already passed the pillar.
And the it says the upward sensor is detecting objects because it's upside down.
Yeah. Whoops. Here we are. You can see.
Day of the rescue. So the first day of the rescue, I used the Mavic 2 Pro with a string that was attached with a little counterweight and a loop at the bottom with a little piece of plastic to hold it open. The first attempt to save it was actually a failure because I got distracted by some kids that had shown up to take a look at what I was doing. So this would be the second attempt. Well, actually, no, this is actually just the review of the area, making sure that I knew where his drone was, what position it was in. So this one was actually pretty difficult because it's so close to the wall, and two of the arms are folded up, so that's one less thing for me to latch onto. I actually found two other drones that were up there. There was the Mavic Pro, which was the last one, and that one's the Mavic Air. They were up there for approximately 5 to 8 years with the condition that they were in. I did a quick scan of the other pillars to make sure there was no other drones, and also to make sure there's no other objects in the area for me to crash into. A couple of ducks, trash, lots of trash in Portland, unfortunately. Another thing I was always afraid of was always catching a fishing line or something that was dangling off of the
Yeah,
bridge.
when I fly under a bridge. I always think about that.
And these are the kids that were trying to hit the drone with the rock. They're always fun to mess with, but they were all having fun.
It's like, yeah, they're having a great time. That is fun. But oh yeah, there we are.
All right, so the first attempt was a total fail. That's where my Mavic 2 Pro landed. As you can see, the lights are still on. It's still operating. And on the heat sensor, you can actually see the battery and stuff that's actually hot still. It was about a 20 to 25 minutes of me flailing around trying to hook something with this tiny loop with a piece of plastic at the end of it. And it was pretty much a crapshoot. I finally got it right here, barely.
You got it though. That's the main thing.
And then it's looped, and then I cinched it by moving it forward and lifted straight up. Now, because it's also got a string dangling on it, I had to go up a lot higher to make sure that I cleared the cross beam right there. And at this point, I think the motors got overheated, or it was in overpower mode and tried to land. That's why it
dropped quick.
Dropped quick after I had hooked it. After my confidence was up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the other ones since they're a little bit easier to get. And I only had like maybe a battery left at this point, and I barely got this guy here. This thing was probably up there for at least 8 years because the plastic was deteriorated. The battery was totally, like, you can see it here on the picture. It's like bloated up.
Wow, yeah.
The
that aluminum has just corroded on the inside.
It's actually just all plastic.
Oh.
Yeah.
This
and then
one was all plastic.
yeah.
That
And
was
then
the one.
this is the first attempt at getting the Mavic Air. the original, but I ran out of batteries and had to go to other projects. This was version 2. It had a string with a plastic zip tie running all the way around it with looped at the bottom. Made it a lot easier, a lot bigger chance for me to hook on something. I got this guy first try to test it out on the first battery. And there it's hooked on the landing gear. Made sure it was tight and lifted. And didn't have any issues flying this one over. And again, this is bad with the Mavic 2 Pro. I got it back and cleaned up the motors and everything worked fine on it.
Nice catch.
We'll see a photo here. Totally covered in bird crap. Nothing worked on it. Of course, it had been up there for 5+ years. I recovered the SD card and got some photos off of it, trying to find the owner.
That guy looks so familiar. I mean, I think we've seen him before.
Seen him eventually.
Yeah.
All right. So the final event is Journal Karl's drone, which was again really close to the wall, so it was really hard. But it was actually windy, so the wind was actually helping me this time, since it was blowing the contraption away from my downwash and into the pillar, so I could be offset quite a bit from the pillar. The only thing I was worried about on this portion was if I lifted up and then it would have overcorrected and then pulled or flown into the pillar itself. So let's see, after it finally settles down, it's a little bit windy.
So close.
Getting close. And bam, you can see the camera had moved there a little bit. So it's hooked around the gimbal, which isn't optimal because it's only being held on by like little pieces of rubber.
Once you hook that, there's no way to unhook it.
Yeah. So I offset it to make sure that it was not going to overcorrect and slam me into the pillar. At this point, it tried to land again. So I was like, hurry it up, get it over there so it doesn't land in the sand again.
Nice.
And there it is.
Yeah. Oh.
It was beat up. It had a lot of water damage. You'll see some other photos here. I took it apart to assess the damage.
And then at this point, I had flown almost 500 flights with a Mavic Mini and the Air 2S here. And
so there's the innards. Looking pretty naked.
Yeah, stripped down.
You can see on this next one, you'll see the water indicator, which is supposed to be a white sticker, but it's actually red and white now. It's sitting there on the ESC.
Yep.
But Jonah Karl had a DJI Care refresh, and I put it back together and sent it in, and he got it back literally like a week later. And
yeah, that's a great program.
And he's back up and flying, and he just recently got his 107 license as well.
That I did. Woohoo! No more flying sideways into pillars, though.
Yeah.
And keeping that line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
Visual line of sight. And
thank you all for watching, and until next time, keep on droning on.